So we get opportunities to talk about leadership and show leadership, but the truth is it's real people, real impact. And until you're a real person on the ground creating real impact, you really don't know what it is. So when you get there, you become one of those real people. The direct services and seeing what challenges are in a different country or a different organization is important, because then it opens up your mind to say, how do we look at this as a challenge and how can we learn for this and create an opportunity for our companies?
Welcome to The Fuel Line, where we explore all things automotive with a focus on mergers and acquisitions. Hi, my name's Fareed Ahmed. I'm the founder and the CEO of DSMA and your favorite podcast host. Each episode, we connect with influential figures that drive the automotive landscape. Let's shift into gear and get started. In today's episode, we have the privilege of speaking with Katie, the president and CEO of The Hope of Life, a globally recognized humanitarian organization that has been transforming lives in Guatemala for over 3 decades. As the daughter of the founder, Carlos and Cheryl Vargas, Katie has been in the heart of this mission to provide life-saving support to marginalized communities, helping create sustainable solutions that impact thousands of lives each year. Under her leadership, The Hope of Life has expanded its reach with programs that range from medical rescue efforts to building schools, building hospitals, and community infrastructure. In a partnership with us, DSMA, Katie is now bringing new opportunities to businesses in an innovative corporate retreat that combines leadership development with meaningful philanthropy. Today, Katie will share some insights on how businesses can give back, the powerful impact of corporate engagement, or what we like to call good corporate citizens, and how leaders can make a lasting difference in today's challenging world, given what's happening in the world. To start, could you share, Katie, a little bit about your journey, your life's journey with The Hope of Life, and what it means to you personally to be involved in such meaningful work?
When we started Hope of Life, I was 5 years old. And so it really is in the core and in my blood.
So like 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago, because I'm so young. It's been incredible because as kids grow up nowadays, you just don't really have a purpose or a value system that really allow us to, create a future for this world. And as you said, the world's a bit crazy today. And this is one of the reasons why we think partnering with DSMA and different companies is so important, because creating a great work culture is important. For me growing up, it was incredible. Carlos and Cheryl were incredible parents, but they were incredible leaders. They showed us what it was to want to give back to the world and be a positive impact for everyone. You could think, hey, Katie's the daughter of the founders, but really I would tell you that today I would tell you, I do this because I was called. And something like this takes a different sacrifice. I remember the day my parents were called. I was 5, but it changed our lives. And I can remember the day God called me to that. It was a larger calling to change the world. It wasn't just to do something small, and the opportunities just keep growing. And this is just another one, and we're excited for it.
The world seems to be in a challenge right now. You've got things like tariff and other economical concerns. You've got raging wars going on around the world. Tell me, why do you think it's so important, especially during these times, for business leaders like myself to find a way of giving back and making an impact beyond my own bottom line?
Well, I think that in times of uncertainty, it's really the right time to lean forward. A lot of times, and a lot of business leaders go backwards, right? They go into survival mode. They go into protection mode. But the truth is that, and I'll use this because women love diamonds. Diamonds aren't built on easy and on protection. They're built under pressure. And so for me, I think this is an incredibly important time for businesses like DSMA and everybody that we're sharing this with. Lean in, be with Hope of Life, be with whoever. But it's important for the leadership to lean in, because this is where you grow the right work culture. This is where you grow your future. Because when you're on the up, people are comfortable. Under pressure, there's not that much growth. And so I really think that giving back during this season and creating the culture during season of uncertainty and pressure, your teams will grow bigger because they will appreciate and have a different perspective of what life is. I see transformation during this time of uncertainty. I see opportunities for business leaders because our job is to be ready, not today, but to be ready when it comes back. After uncertainty, there's opportunities. So are your team members going to be ready for those blessings and opportunities if they weren't built under uncertainty?
So Hope of Life has an incredible history over the past 30 plus years in saving lives and supporting all sorts of variety of communities in Guatemala. Can you talk a little bit about the key programs, initiatives you've made the most significant impact within that country, within your communities?
For us, I would say medical access is one of the biggest things. Our malnutrition rescue program and prevention is incredible. Guatemala's population is 49.7% in extreme poverty. And that is crazy to think that a country in the Americas is in that extreme poverty. But then I would also share with you that I believe the number is 48.9% of children under the age of 5 are suffering of acute malnutrition or chronic malnutrition in Guatemala. And so our medical access program and rescue program allows us to do things, and our preventative program helps so that number doesn't continue to grow, right? So that would be, that is where we say saving lives is like immediate. Like that day is we're saving a life. I was just sharing that just in the last few days, we've rescued 32 babies from severe malnutrition. And that's because we're flowing into the highest season of malnutrition. This is the time that we get hit with the worst cases. So we have about 4 months of that. And that's just the extreme cases. There might be a sibling at home that is a day away. But then there's also the community transformation program, sustainable programming, behavioral change, prevention, clean access to water, building houses. All those kind of things are what we give the opportunity not only to serve humankind, but also for teens to come in and be a part of and see what that impact is as you work on your culture inside and great corporate support.
So through our partnership together, through DSMA and the Hope of Life, you've launched this very innovative corporate retreat experience program. I know because I've taken my executive team on one of these retreats, and we're 4 years later, we're still talking about the experience that we had. What makes this retreat so unique, and how does it offer businesses a chance to combine leadership development within their corporations while giving back to such an amazing cause?
Well, I think the reason this retreat is so incredible is because it has a purpose. So we work with every company like we did with DSMA. What is your goals? What do we need to achieve? So we get opportunities to talk about leadership and show leadership. But the truth is it's real people, real impact. And until you're a real person on the grounds creating real impact, you really don't know what it is. So when you get there, you become one of those real people. And it's not just a break from work. It's not just, a board meeting where we get to go to a resort or do something. We're going to add in purpose. We're going to add in that cultural need for culture growth. That's the important thing, the direct services and seeing what challenges are in a different country or a different organization is important because then it opens up your mind to say, how do we look at this as a challenge and how can we learn for this and create an opportunity for our companies?
For organizations that are choosing to participate, what can they expect in terms of the experience for themselves and for their team members? What activities or opportunities will they have to immerse themselves in the Hope of Life mission while also working on team building and leadership development? Can you give our audience a bit of a flavor of that experience?
Yeah, so we get to immerse you completely into Guatemala. Our culture is very different.
Which is a great country, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy you love it. You've only been a dozen times or so. But we get to immerse you into our culture. You get to be a part of medical access opportunities. You get to see our children, our elderly, our special needs. You get to go into communities. I believe the last time, Fareed, me and you, we gave out Christmas gifts.
Yes, and shoes as well.
And
I remember.
shoes. And we also were a little part of a session where we were empowering the mothers to get the kids in school, because that is how we break the chains of poverty. And so you get to be a part of all that. And so it was an amazing thing. You get a clear planning with our teams. Our teams help you create what you need for your organization.
So let's talk about from a leadership perspective a second. And really, I'm focusing on what a leader of an organization can gain from this experience themselves. So what kind of growth or lessons do you think business leaders are engaging themselves and their team in this kind of experience, which, let's face it, is offered nowhere else in this world, especially looking from the humanitarian side? If you were speaking to one of the leaders directly that is going to be watching this program, and they said, explain to me the kind of experience I will have, how would you describe that experience?
Well, I think number one, the experience really cultivates resilience. You go in and you see what has happened for a nonprofit that, really depends on different partnerships. So you see, okay, as if a nonprofit can do it, a business person can do it. You find vision and empathy. And sometimes when we're in the business world, we don't always have those three things together. And that's an important thing. It grounds leaders. It takes them out of their distraction. I'll tell you, even for us, the leadership team at Hope of Life, we do a retreat and we leave Hope of Life because the distraction of service, that's our business, right? Our business is saving lives. And so we need to get out of it. So when you take your business and your leadership and you take them out of the business world and you get them in something else, the distractions, the face-to-face service opportunities in the communities and everything just changes it and gives you a clear mind. I still remember your first visit, Fareed. You came down that mountain with a baby on your laps, and you told me you were a different man at that moment.
100%.
You couldn't have had that in Canada or in the United States. And you were completely not distracted with business. You were completely unplugged.
It really humbled me. It made me appreciate what I have, what my children have. And I think taking my children along as well was a great experience for them. But let's switch gears a second. We are a mid-sized organization, but I know that you have very large corporate donors, and some of them are just amazing, like the Home Depot, Rawlings, Sports Equipment, Walmart, and also the U.S. Army, I believe, contribute medical equipment. Why do they do it? What is their purpose?
Their purpose is serving. If you think about it, a lot of them, they have a bottom line, they have a business, but they want a great corporate culture and a great corporate opportunity to serve people. They just want to be anonymous, right? Because it's part of them. It's not to show everyone. But the truth is that, developing countries have so many opportunities to serve. And in the United States or North America, Europe, there's so many things that are just taken for granted. And so they look for great partners that are traceable, right? That's the other thing. I want all your friends and your business acquaintances to know, if you give us a donation, you know where it's going to go and we're going to take you there. And so with the Rawling, they've supported us through hurricanes and disasters, and they can see everything that was rebuilt. Home Depot, we just got a bunch of floors and it's going right into our flooring of our new hospital expansion. All these different things, furniture, if it's funding, if it's materials, you can go and see it. DSMA, you guys partnered with us on building this retreat center, right? And guess who gets to stay there all the time? And really, this is why we've ignited this, because you can see it and you can be traceable. And we bring you guys into this journey that's not just ours, it becomes ours.
So if you could explain one thing to the audience, and I think this is very important to raise, after we did that immense study on your charity and other global charities around the world. The Hope of Life, I think 96.7 cents of every dollar makes it to the people that need it, as where on average, the global charities are around 80 cents. So tell me, can you explain to our audience how you do that? And was that always your mandate to work very hard to make sure every cent went to the needy?
It was a part of it always. Like, we always wanted to be a nonprofit that had a small administrative rate, that we were strategic and creative on how we're able to get more value to the people than what our dollars mean. So buying things at auction, different things that allow us to make our money multiply, our time multiply. That is always the most important thing for us, because if not, yeah, it takes a lot of work and logistics and administration to do what we do when we have over 5,000 kids in sponsorship. Our outreach is in over 327 villages, plus all our residents. That's a lot of work. So you got to get creative. So you can either get creative or you can spend the money and be lazy. And so for Hope of Life, being that we were built on family values and really family dollars, we wanted to make sure that every penny, as much of it, got into the beneficiaries and creating sustainability. So when you get to Hope of Life, because I know people listening to this podcast will be on a trip, you will see that every department has now become sustainable. We're fundraising in a different way. If we're building a home, it's sustainable. We have a farm and we're creating different businesses so that we have a business, so then we can give it back, so that we can make sure every dollar multiplies, and we're able to not even, if I actually calculated, we probably give them more than 100%, because we get really powerful about getting donations and creating value.
To wrap this up, I just would like to say a few words to the audience. First off, everybody that's watching, I can assure you it would be probably the most life-changing experience as a leader, as a participant, that you're going to have. We support the Hope of Life because we believe in giving back. We've been very fortunate as a company. We're very fortunate as individuals to have amassed what we've got. And I searched for years for an organization that I could even participate in. And that's the one great thing about the Hope of Life. You're dealing with the people that are leading from the front. You're not dealing with a faceless, nameless person of a corporation. You're dealing with Katie. So when you're there, Katie's there right alongside you. I can't encourage anybody that's watching this any stronger than participate. You won't regret it. Please, if you feel like to reach out to me directly, Fareed Ahmed, feel free, or also Joe Knotts, who's also a part of our development team. Katie, I know you're very busy. I know you've got lots of projects on the go. Just want to really thank you on behalf of DSMA for taking this time today to just share a little bit about the Hope of Life. The audience, we will be having more conversations. And Katie, what would be maybe great one of these days is if we could even do something live from Guatemala so our audience can see some of the projects and the life-saving stuff that the Hope of Life does. I don't know if you would be willing to do that.
100%. Like, we would love to share that live. I would love to get you down there with me, of course. As a last message, I would say we believe the future of business is purpose-led. And so I just encourage all leaders of leaders and owners of the different companies. What's the purpose and what's the culture? That is a lot of the conversation in the world right now. And so what part of it are we going to be? Are we going to be silent, or are we going to have purpose? Hope of Life, we want to be a part of that. And our mission continues to evolve. And we're just excited about saving lives and transforming them. So thank you, Fareed, for giving me this platform and being able to share our hearts and, of course, being friends. I think that a lot of people will be changed if they get down to Hope of Life.
Proud to support the Hope of Life, and everyone in our organization is as committed as I am to the success and the continued success of the Hope of Life. Thanks very much, Katie.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for taking some valuable time to hear and learn a bit about the Hope of Life. We're very proud in being a sponsor and being involved and giving back and being a good corporate citizen. Hey, if you like what we do, please like, follow, and share. We try to bring content to you that's not just always about business. It's all about the human element as well and involvement. And I know that everybody that I speak to would like to find a way of giving back and getting involved. So again, if you feel like inquiring about this and learning more about the Hope of Life, please contact me directly, Fareed Ahmad, or Joe Knotts, who will also have his details attached to this video. Once again, thank you for following the fuel line and hope to see you soon.